To the men who've made me quiet, the pastors who were sure to instill that I am not now, nor will I ever be, the head of the household. That my single mother of two, who worked and cried and sweat for a doctoral degree, was not the head of our household, was going to perish for all of eternity, would always be married to my father in the eyes of the Lord. That my purpose is to wife up and quietly make a man happy, to perform wifely duties, to mother other men who will be heads of households over women who came from women like me who've been told their place, who've been told that smaller, quieter, more agreeable is better. The pastors who told me that I'll always come third. God, husband, me. That my aspirations should include motherhood and Sunday school volunteering and hosting and smiling pleasantries to other hierarchical families like mine. My father, who, at the guidance of the pastor, told me my opinions were wrong and would lead me down a path of sin and hellfire, who argued with me at 11 years old about bloodied fetuses and what love is supposed to look like. It's not Adam and Steve, you know. My father, who yelled at his own mother as she begged him not to drive us home after the eighth beer, who quieted me with games and toys and bouncy houses, who brought me on those long ass bike rides all the way to the church to fold the service programs for his DUI community service. I didn't know. The boys in school who would snicker when I spoke my mind, who made me think, nobody cares," to myself anytime I considered sharing a story or a thought or an opinion. The boys who said my laugh sounds like a horse, and my teeth. Who snickered when I raised my hand in class, who laughed and passed notes during that entire sociology presentation. And I knew you were making fun of my nervousness, and the teacher called you out, and that only made it worse when I got to my locker. Do you remember this? I remember this. I'd loved giving presentations before then. Not now. The boys. The boys who were only friends with the girls who agreed with anything they said, who were only boyfriends with the girls with the smallest waists and voices. My first boyfriend, who told me I better keep my fucking mouth shut about that day you came over when I was home alone. And I told you I didn't like it. I told you I was scared. I told you I wasn't ready, but you kept going and kept going anyway. You told the wall what a good girl I was as I choked back tears. And I smiled as you left and agreed with you when you said you felt closer to me now. Yet you reminded me to keep my fucking mouth shut about that day, about what you took from me. And I did keep my fucking mouth shut. I always kept my fucking mouth shut about that day. And I melted, and not in the good way. And I learned that giving my body to boys equaled love. Do you remember? I remember. And the many boys after that, the ones who took advantage of my belief that I had to be naked to feel loved, the one who drugged me at a house party and left me to wake up naked in a basement I'd never seen before with a dead phone and deep purple bruises on my thighs and clothes strewn throughout the room and that I had to scavenge for, naked and alone and shaking. The one who said, "Why do you think I bought you those beers?" when I tried to say goodnight. The one who said, "But that dress is so hot." The one who made me walk home in the cold once he had used me up. The one who told me he was moving out in a DM. The one who used me to forget that he felt like a failure after his divorce. The one who told me I'm a bad storyteller. The teacher who told me I'm oversensitive just for feeling, for reacting, forever making me worry that I'm too much. The boyfriend who told me I just need to shut the fuck up sometimes. The supervisor who asked what color thong I'm wearing and then called me a snitch slut when I reported it. The one who said, I complain about my mother too much. The one who, after I said I didn't want to have sex, immediately following a medical procedure involving my cervix, asked me to at least suck it off. Do you remember? I remember. The Hollywood producers who cast the thinnest girls to play the sex objects in the movies about great men doing great things. The reporters who ask the female musicians about their families and the men about their inspirations. The police officers, defense attorneys, judges, fathers who ask why she didn't report it sooner if it were true. The businessmen who might think I'm emotionally unstable because I bleed each month. To the men who've made me quiet, I have edited and adjusted and performed and denied myself and shrank myself and shut the fuck up for far too long. I am bursting at the seams, begging to be seen. You can't keep me quiet. I am taking up space. I've grown tired of working so hard to shrink when I was made to grow.